Hey there, my name's Jordan. I'm with Funnelbolt, and today I want to show you how to quit boosting and start profiting from Facebook ads. So this is going to be a high-level intro into advertising on Facebook. So if you are having trouble converting, or if you're wanting to generate more leads or more profit or anything like that on Facebook, this is for you. And if you stay till the end, we've got a couple things I want to show you that are going to help, some free resources and stuff like that. So let's get started now. So we work with businesses all over the country. We have some out of the country as well that we're working for on the software side, and we hear this all the time. You know, we have tried Facebook, we've thrown some money at it, we've been advertising, but it just doesn't work for us. Our business, it just does not work for us. And for some businesses, certainly, Facebook is not ideal. It depends on the type of business, and is it like a service type business, or what exactly are you selling? But most of the time, Facebook does not work because things are not set up correctly for the business. So there are 6 things that you need before you spend any money on Facebook. So number 1, you need a business manager account. So that means if you are boosting posts or something like that, you're basically throwing money away. 2, you need a pixel, and we will get into how to install a pixel later, but today we're just going to kind of talk about what a pixel does. You also need to understand ad placement at a basic level and how the algorithm actually looks at your campaigns and your ad sets and your ad structure. You also are going to need a landing page. You're going to need a lead magnet, and you need some type of follow-up in place if you want to actually convert and make any money on Facebook, or running ads on Facebook. So for today, we're just going to talk about these first 3 things. So number 1, business manager. It is necessary for any business that wants to advertise on Facebook. If you do not have a business manager, you are likely doing something like this, where if we want to create an ad just on our page, we'll go through something like this, where this has actually gotten a lot better over the years. It used to be very basic. They're trying to make it easier, of course, to spend money on the platform. But you can see here gives some general objectives of what you might want to do. So this is okay, but it is not business manager. So, and we will get into what business manager looks like and why here in a little bit. Inside Business Manager, you're going to have access to the pixel, which we talked about before, profile data, so you can actually build a profile around your ideal customers using a pixel. You can build out audiences. You can identify people you want to work with, people you don't want to work with. You can optimize your ads and run campaigns like for likes, if you want likes to your page, if you want more messages, if you want landing page views, conversions, purchases. You can optimize for those things inside Business Manager. And it is also going to allow you unlimited scale if you get your ads set up properly, you have everything tagged, and you have identified the audience and the placement, and of course the ad images and angles and all that kind of stuff. So we'll get into some of that here shortly. So what is a pixel? So technically, a pixel is a little line of code that you install on your website, and that allows Facebook to read like the IP, basically, that people are coming in and visiting your website. And based off of that IP, they're able to gather data such as email, phone number, gender, location, stuff like that. So I'll give you a quick overview of what a pixel will do. So this is one of our pixels, and here is some basic stuff that a pixel will technically allow you to track. Okay, so on top of that, a pixel is also calculating behavior. So you can target based on behavior certain people that would benefit your business. So you can build a profile around your ideal customer, and you can tell Facebook using the pixel, hey, I want you to run ads towards this type of person. And if somebody already purchases on your website and you want to stop showing ads to that person because they've already converted, you can tell Facebook because of the pixel, hey, quit showing ads to this person or these types of people. So it allows you to really scale and optimize your ad spend. So in order to scale and optimize, you've got to build a campaign within your ads manager. So after the pixel is in place, and in later videos, we're going to go through technically how to install the pixel, how to set up your audiences, how to set up conversions, and how to do all of that properly so that you can actually profit running ads on Facebook. So we will get into the detail of that in a later video. Today, I just want to give you a high level overview of how this stuff actually works, how the algorithm works, and how to set up your campaigns. So before you build a campaign, you're going to need 4 things. Okay, you're going to need an objective. What do you actually want to accomplish out of running ads? You need a target. So who is your audience? What type of person is that? And I can show you how Facebook kind of allows you to target people. And this is based on their interest. So we can go, are we targeting homeowners? So there is an interest. So how many people do we have there? And we can also target behavior. So demographics, relationship status, somebody that's married. And I'm not sure why this isn't pulling in here. It usually would have all kinds of data in here, but my internet has been giving me issues over the last little while. So there we go. We can also do by household income, stuff like that. So there's a lot of different things that we can target, and this is why it is very beneficial to number one, not be boosting posts and setting things up in Business Manager, and having a pixel that can identify all these different things. Okay, so we'll get back to our campaign here. So we want to know who we're targeting. We want to know where we want to place that. So based off of our audience, where is our audience hanging out? So do we want to run it in a news feed? Do we want to run it on Instagram? Do we want, where do we want to place that at? Okay. Then we need ad images or a video, if you've got a video or something like that. And we need a variety of images and videos. And we also need ad copy. So what does your ad actually say? So we need those 4 things before we start our campaign. So general campaign structure looks something like this. So we have a campaign, we have an ad set, and we have ads. And so how that looks within our ads manager is something like this. So we've got a campaign, we've got our ad set, and we have our ads. So when I hit create here, and again, my internet is not running very well, it's going to tell us, okay, what is our objective? What do we want out of this? Do we want awareness, reach, traffic, engagement? You can see all of these things. So this is where the campaign objective and placement, all that kind of stuff, are your initial conditions, which is very important to understand. Once you define those things, you are going to set an objective, you're going to set a budget, you're going to tell these ads who to run to, you're going to tell Facebook who to show the ads to, and where to show those ads. Okay, so those are your initial conditions. Then you have your ad, which is like the creative part of that, which that's going to be your image and your ad copy angle. So those angles, we want to have a variety of angles so that we know what combination of audience and angle is actually working and giving us production in the form of a conversion or a purchase or something like that. So generally speaking, this is how a campaign structure should look. So the DNA of a campaign looks something like this. So within one campaign, you are going to have a few different ad sets, and you're going to have multiple ads under those ad sets. So this is ideal for one audience. So you are going to be running at least three ad sets to one audience, and you are going to run one ad angle in those ad sets. So where this gets interesting is you add angles. So for every new angle adds 3 new ad sets. So this is ad image 1, add image 1, add image 2, add image 3, add image 4. This is the same add image 1, add image 2, add image 3, add image 4. Okay? So when you are trying to figure out what audience to run to, your North Star, I guess, like who is you think off the top of your head, if you've never done any marketing on Facebook, who do you think is your most likely to convert audience? You want to have that running as your first ad set initially, okay? Then your second most likely, you would then take this after everything has been approved. You've got all of these ads running and approved, and you want to run a new audience. You would then duplicate this and run another set of 3 to that audience. So this sounds a little bit confusing, and you're going to have a lot of these running at a time, but this is generally your basic campaign DNA for one audience and one ad angle. So we will kind of get more into how this works once we start running to multiple audiences and running multiple angles. But generally speaking, this is how the DNA of a campaign should look. So in a world of ideals, we have to split test, and we must find what is working. If we do not find what is working, we're just going to be running around aimlessly, right? So in order to identify what is working, an ideal cold launch. So this is if you are running ads cold. You have not advertised on Facebook. You just set up your pixel. This would be a cold audience campaign. This is what it looks like. You are going to run 5 ad angles, and later we will get into those ad angles and what generally they look like from like a copywriting perspective. 5 ad angles, and these are then set at the ad set level. So if you have one audience running 3 different ad sets and you add another angle to it, that's another 3. So 3 times 5 is going to be 15 ad sets if you're going to run 5 angles to one audience. Ideally, you want to pick about 30 audiences. So again, those audiences can all be found back here in your audience insight, and it is going to give you a good, and I have no idea why this is not loading right now, but it should give you a good idea of who is most likely in your ideal profile for your audience. And in a later video, we'll show that. I would intend on showing that to you now, but my internet is not allowing me to do that. So you would find 30 different audiences, and again, we're going to set that at the ad set level, and then we're going to run 4 images to each of those. So we've got 4 images and 30 audiences, 5 ad angles. So we've got, like, if you do the math on this, and again, this is in an ideal scenario, we're going to run like 150 different ad sets all at once. That way we can identify what audience, what angle, and what images is profitable, hitting our KPIs, and then we can like start duplicating those things. And we run that at $10 per day. So you say, Jordan, you just said $10 a day times 150 ad sets. So you mean I'm going to spend $1,500 a day on ads just to find my ideal audience? Again, in an ideal world, yeah, you're going to do that. You're either going to spend the money up front or you're going to spend it later. Okay, so it takes about 3 or 4 days for you to figure out what audience, what specific audience and what specific angle is working best for your business. So you can start combining things, and there are different strategies to kind of combine those things and spend less of a budget up front. But ideally, again, we're talking about what is ideal. What I have laid out in front of you is ideal, but we can scale down from there if we have to. So identifying the winners, this is going to allow us to isolate variables. And isolating variables is the key to split testing anything. You've got to figure out exactly what is making things work. And the worst thing you can do is start assuming that things are working, or you start making changes without sending a whole lot of traffic or volume to your tests. You've got to make sure that you've got ample volume before you start making decisions. So we isolate the winning ad angles, we isolate the winning audiences, and we identify the winning ad images. So once we do all of those things, we know, and again, we've got a set of KPIs that we're going to stick to that we know what is winning and what's not, right? So how this works, so again, we had we've got our campaign and we've got our 3 ad sets, and then we have our audience, okay? So once we have our one audience, this is kind of how this looks. So these different ad sets is setting up, and of course this is not to scale at all, but each ad set is taking a slice out of the audience pie, so to speak. So ideally, we want to have about 1 million people to run to. Again, if we have one audience, we should not be running any less than 1 million. So we want to ideally look for 1 million people to set up those 3 different ad set split tests, okay? So what a $10 ad set looks like is it's taking a bite, a small bite out of this piece of pie, okay? So what increasing the budget, or what a budget variable looks like, is it's something like this. So again, you've got $10 ad set, $100 ad set, $10 ad set, $100 ad set. And of course, these are not to scale at all, but a higher per day budget takes a bigger, Facebook is choosing like a bigger swath out of that piece of pie, if that makes sense. Okay. So with our pixel installed, once we have our events labeled within that pixel, is Facebook is going to start finding the conversion in that ad set, okay? So we've got, some in here, we've got some in here, we've got some in here. And as time goes, again, with our pixel, we're able to identify the audience that we want and tell Facebook, okay, we want more of this and less of that. So when we start keying in on conversions, it allows us to optimize, and it allows us to scale. So if we set, if we've got 3 ad sets running and we have one ad set that is performing better, so we've got the lowest cost per conversion, or if it meets KPI, whatever that is, what we can do then is we can go in and we can kill these ad sets. We can identify this one and duplicate it and scale that one. So that is going to give Facebook a better idea, going to give the algorithm a better idea, like, okay, we are looking for this specifically. So, and again, that's what we want, right? We want to optimize, and we want to find a favorable cost per conversion. So Facebook kind of looks like this. Advertising on Facebook looks like this, okay? So we get started, we're spending money, we're losing money, and losing money. But at some point, if we have set up our campaign correctly, again, split testing all of our variables, the audiences, the angles, and the images and all that kind of stuff, and identifying what is working and what is not, we are then able to kill what is not working around here and start duplicating what is working around here, and we will start to see our cost become more favorable. So as we are spending money in our ads, we're starting to actually make money, make a return, and we start generating a lot more revenue, and whether that's in leads or purchases or whatever your conversion event is, we have once we identify what's working, we can then start profiting on running these ads. So again, this is a very high level overview, and we'll get more into this later, but this is generally what advertising on Facebook looks like. And it's important to leave your emotions aside and have a very numbers driven campaign. So if your campaign is numbers driven, you know what your KPIs are, so how much margin is built into your product, and how much of it are you selling, and at what volume, and like all of these things we have to consider before we put any money into Facebook, so that we know when do we need to cut it completely? Are we ever going to identify what is working and what's not? So that is generally how this works. So you have to set things up right in the beginning, and know how to duplicate and multiply what is winning to get to a point to where you start profiting on Facebook. So again, winners will leave emotions aside, and knowing your KPIs is very important. So things like click-through rate is very important, especially when you start running cold traffic. So a click-through rate on cold traffic is going to be significantly less than your click-through rate on retargeting traffic. Retargeting, people are already going to know what you're all about, and you can get a lot more specific in your messaging in a retargeting ad. And again, you can't do that if you don't have a pixel installed. So and your pixel set up properly and labeling things properly, your audiences properly. Your landing page conversion rate is very important to know, and your purchase conversion rate is very important as well. So once you know all of those things in your KPIs, you can start identifying what is working and start scaling things accordingly. So next, we're going to talk about actually setting all of this stuff up. So you've got to set up your Facebook pixel, Google Analytics, Tag Manager helps setting up your conversions, your events, and labeling your audiences. We will get into setting all of that stuff up on a more detailed level in the next couple videos. We will also talk about landing page optimization and what percentages are favorable for a landing page and what's not. These are key to knowing those KPIs and defining what favorable is. We'll also talk about split testing and increasing your conversion rate, and we are also going to talk about follow through and delivery. So there are some tools that we use. We actually have a software that we do all of these things in, and the follow through and delivery is the most important part as far as when it comes to actually profiting. So for more, of course, I said at the beginning, we had some freebies to kind of give away. For more, if you want to check out our websites, funnelbolt.com, we have a nice, again, software where we build out landing pages. We've got a lot of automation and follow-up and stuff like that when it comes to actually the delivery and the sale. We also have a free Facebook group, Boost Academy. You can join that for free. We have a lot of documents in there. We have a lot of marketing strategy, content, and stuff like that. It's all in our Facebook group. Again, it's completely free. I will put a link to that in the video below. And of course, if you got any value out of this, it'd be great if you could like, share, and subscribe to our channel. It takes a little bit of effort to kind of put this stuff together, and we want to help as much as you can. So if you have any questions about some of the stuff that we went into, please leave a comment, get in touch with me somehow, in the Facebook group, something like that, and we will try to get you as much information and detail as you need to make things happen. So again, appreciate everything, and like, share, and subscribe if you can, and check us out, funnelbolt.com, and our Facebook group, Boost Academy. Thanks a lot. Have a great day. Appreciate it.